Our topic is Animal Captivity Group 4. My name is Brenda Ventura,
My name is Simran Dogra.
and we will be talking about the cons on animal captivity.
So the history on animal captivity, in the 1790s, Europe was using animals for blood sport more than just controlling their fate. Their actions could be shaped to our will as well. It has been stated in an article that it is known that one elephant, which was rather slow-witted in understanding instructions given to it, had been punished with repeated beatings, was found at night practicing the same. Basically, the animals were being treated very cruel within circuses and zoos. Animals are meant to be treated with respect and one of us because they are a living thing as well as us. So, ethical aspects on zoos. Zoos cannot provide the same amount of space that the wild can because zoos are not being big enough, and they give animals such as lions or tigers about 75% less space than they would have in the wild. In a UK article, they have stated that animals suffer inside the zoos. Lions would spend 48% of their time pacing around, which is a sign of behavioral problems, and it isn't normal. They also state that while animals are being trained to perform, such as sea lions, birds, or elephants, they most often use electric goads in the UK, which is not right for the animals because they are being held captive where they do not even want to be at in the first place. What is the major problem with zoos? So, the major problem with zoos is that animals who live there are kept in enclosures that don't allow them to live their lives in a natural way. No matter how big some zoos try to make the enclosures, how many branches they put in them, how beautiful they make the background paintings on the wall, they don't compare with the natural habitat the animals were meant to be in. Zoo animals have to spend day after day, week after week, year after year in the exact same enclosure. They have no freedom whatsoever as they would in the wild where they belong. Zoos also don't provide the right environment for a successful captive breeding project. The animals would need to live in habitats resembling their natural ones, especially in terms of climate and fauna, in order for them to be let gone into the wild from the zoo.
So, cultural and sociological importance. Buddhists believe if you set animals free, it is considered an act of compassion, which means you'll be rewarded with good karma. Buddhists are also taught to avoid anything connected with having to kill animals or try not to harm as many animals. Buddhists treat the lives of human and non-human animals with equal respect.
So, current events involving animal captivity. Just a few days ago, a kangaroo was pelted with rocks, dies in China at the zoo. People were throwing rocks at the kangaroo because she was asleep and they were trying to wake her up and do some tricks because she was just laying down. The kangaroo was about 12 years old. In July, this past July, there was an incident again in China. A tiger had killed a woman trying to save her daughter from the attack. He had jumped out of a vehicle that was being taken to the zoo and he attacked them, unfortunately, taking one life. This shows that keeping animals in zoos make them insane and that They do not deserve being held captive.
Against animal organization PETA had been protesting to shut down the Ringling Brothers Circus for 36 years because they would abuse their animals and let their animals die. Ringling trainers Ringling trainers would abuse their elephants by beating them and tying them down with ropes so tight that would leave deep cuts. And on the upper right corner you can see a baby elephant being tied down and tormented. In the article by PETA, they talk about how they filed reports to the U.S. Department of Agriculture and, quote, a 4-year-old elephant named Benjamin who drowned while swimming in a pond after a trainer began tormenting him with the bull hook. Also another quote, a baby elephant named Ricardo broke his legs while being trained. And then this was a tweet from February 25th, 2016, and the caption says, humans choose to play basketball, elephants don't. That's why he has a bull hook. And then where there's a red arrow, you see one of the trainers, he has a bull hook tormenting the elephant to play. Other examples of animal captivity. After taking the elephants out of the act, the circus continued to use tigers and other captive animals. In the article, they quote, lion named Clyde baked to death in a boxcar. The circus announced their last cruelest show on May 21st, 2017 due to huge drop in ticket sales because they took out animal acts. And then these are just pictures of animals who have been held captive all around the world, and you see they're locked up in cages and they look sad and depressed. More animal captivity. SeaWorld was another place that they did like animal captivity. 5 orcas have been held captive and sent to SeaWorld. If not captured, they killed the orcas. In quote, at one point he hired divers to slit open the bellies of 4 orcas, fill them with rocks, put anchors around their tails, and sink them to the bottom of the ocean so that their deaths wouldn't be discovered. Trainers would masturbate the whales to collect sperm and inseminate and force females to breed at a much younger age than they would in nature. Dorsal fins are collapsed, which are signs of a unhealthy orca. And then on the right top corner, there's a picture of an orca with its dorsal fin collapsed to the side.
Orcas are put in tiny tanks, which makes it cramped and a natural living condition. Their natural lifespan is shortened. Dolphins and whales are being impregnated, sometimes forcibly after being drugged. Trainers often have no formal education in marine biology, so they aren't biologists but performers. The main purpose of the orca shows is to entertain the audience by putting on a show and not actually taking the time to educate the audience.
And then this is a picture, and it says, this is how much space an orca has at SeaWorld. So the blue circle is SeaWorld, how much space they have, which is 35 feet and 11 meters they could swim. And on the other side, a regular killer whale is supposed to swim up to 525 feet, which is 160 meters. So the yellow is how much a killer whale is supposed to swim, and the little circle is how much a killer whale has at SeaWorld. And then those are just the different sea levels.
With 600 being the deepest.
Yes. Oh, and then this was a picture in the article, and the quote says, in 1965, the first ever orca show at SeaWorld was performed by a female orca named Shamu at SeaWorld San Diego. During Shamu's capture, her mother was shot with hair, a harpoon and killed before the young orca's very eyes by a marine cowboy named Ted Griffin. And then that's just a picture from 1965 when they were being captured. And then this is just a clip from 2017 of a killer whale who died just last year. Play the clip.
So they don't know the exact cause of the death.
It's unknown.
He was just 2 years old. By the time they found him, his dorsal fin had collapsed. His teeth were torn down.
Don't go to SeaWorld because they torment their animals and it's bad.
So the informed opinion and viewpoint presented about the animal captivity, we all don't really realize what the animals have to go through as they are put into the zoos. Even though zookeepers tell everyone that they are safe and they take good care of them, it is not true, as you can see as we presented the last few slides. So what if the animals were the people and we were the animals? Would you want to be held in a cage and not be able to be free and do what you want? We should look at it in their point of view, since they are alive like us and no one realizes that animals have feelings as well. Animals have their own rights, just like us humans. Therefore, it's not fair for them to decide how they should be living their lives. So, therefore, zoos should be banned. Aquariums should be banned.
Circuses.
Anything
having to deal with animal captivity should be banned because animals deserve equal rights as humans too.
And yeah, that's it.
And this is our reference page, so you know it's right here.
And that's it.
That's a wrap.